Hi, so it's the end of week one, and as per usual, I'm gonna do a little update on what grad school is like, what classes I'm taking, how it's teaching. I also want to talk about what happened during summer because I didn't give a video talking about summer. During summer, I took a class for a reading course, which I pretty much just read a bunch of math education papers, summarized a lot of them for me to use in the future, which is really helpful. Like now that I've sort of had like a month or two away from working on like dissertation stuff, um, having the summaries actually helps quite a bit. Like I can just read the summary instead of the actual paper, and I can get the gist again from the summaries that I wrote, which is really nice. Um, Besides that, I was on two jobs, turned into three at some point, but I'm gonna talk about the first two. The first one is I was on the algebra project. That's the main one that I'm with my advisor. We talked about the concept of a function and how students develop their understanding of what a function is from like level 0 pre-function, level 1, level 2, level 3, all the way up to like level 6. We talked about that. We're trying to do like a project based on making a what's called a learning progression. And so we are trying to make assignments, not assignments, we are trying to make problems that sort of help guide students through their evolution of understanding of a function. And we're supposed to like produce something and then give that to instructors to see if it like works in classrooms. That's sort of the algebra project. The other job that I had over summer was course developing. For those who don't know, course developing just means that you're updating material from the previous curriculum and making it better, fixing some typos, all that jazz. I was in a course development group for what's called Math 101C. It is a co-requisite class. So the way that I like to think of it is Math 101 with added material from Math 100A. So I taught 100A in the fall and 101 in the spring. So I was kind of a good candidate to work on this project because I knew both classes. So then I put in those informations together. What I mainly did was fix up the timeline because I think some topics flowed well, like in succession as opposed to being far apart. Another thing that I made for that is a lot of videos. I made a lot of videos for the 100A textbook. So if you want, you can actually check those videos out. There, I'll link the textbook in the description. It's free. It's online. And so other people, that's not just my students, that's not just the students of the university, can actually see those videos. And yeah, so that's what I worked on. And I developed the calendar. I made some exit tickets. I did quizzes. I did a lot of stuff for it. And my partner, who also worked on that project, did a lot of stuff that dealt with the workbook. I mainly dealt with stuff that students see online. My other person would be working on the things that students have in their workbook. I don't know what happened in the workbook. She did a really good job because I don't know how to work, how to make a textbook like that. So I didn't do any of that, but I did make the videos. And then the third job that sort of popped out of nowhere is I got asked to tutor somebody for differential equations, and that was really fun. I learned quite a bit about how tutoring works and how intense it can be because you're formulating a success plan with an individual person as opposed to like having a class. So you feel more like you feel more responsible and more like at risk of like letting somebody down when you're in tutoring mode. So I don't know if I quite like that experience. It was a learning experience, and I kind of want to teach differential equations at some point. So it was kind of a nice test run of like the topics, and like showed me like how I'm supposed to be talking about these topics to somebody who's learning it. And yeah, I had a lot of fun doing that. The student ended up like getting a lot out of it. They sent me a thank you email, which I really appreciated. And yeah, those are the three jobs that I did over summer. Besides that, though, I was actually extremely successful in the mission that I had. So in the beginning of the year, in the beginning of 2022, I was like, I need to have more fun. And so that's what I did over summer. I actually traveled quite a bit. I went to San Jose first, then down to LA for a concert. I saw Luna. And then after that, I went to Denver to visit some friends, see some new people. I went to the botanical garden there. ginormous botanical garden. Um, and then I saw Luna again because I bought 2 tickets. Yeah, whatever. I am not financially responsible. And then after Denver, I came back here and it was time for orientation. Um, and then I just had a lot of fun. I think I did a good job, sort of like giving myself that space, giving myself that time to not be so stressed about things. And it was really helpful because I think it set me up for being refreshed for this semester. But yeah, I don't think I've mentioned this. I've just shown it off like randomly without ever mentioning it. But I have a tattoo now. It kind of looks like me because I like ghost types. As for fall though, the classes that I'm taking 2 classes. One in the education psychology department. It is a qualitative methods course. So I'm learning what qualitative methods are and learning to see like what methods I'm going to be using for the research project. So the class is designed to pretty much work on a proposal you have for a study, and so I'm going to be working on my dissertation proposal through that class. So the other class that I'm taking is Math 941, which is partial differential equations. My bread and butter, my class, my favorite class. I think I'm going to end up liking it. And to round out my credits, I do have a reading course again. I'm working with my advisor, continuing the algebra project, and also working on my dissertation at the same time. So more reading, more like formulating these like learning progression things to give to like instructors. And so yeah, that's basically my student side of being a grad student. Now for teaching, the class that I developed over summer is actually the class that I'm teaching this semester. So I'm teaching Math 101C, the co-requisite class to Math 101. Extremely stressful. I teach 4 days a week. So a lot of time seeing these students, which is like a nice practice because I think in the future I will be probably teaching 5 days a week. So it's a nice level up from 3 to 4, and maybe in the future I might teach 5 days a week when I'm still at UNL. But I don't know. So far though, first week has gone really well. I feel very relaxed. I feel very like in tune with myself. I think this semester is gonna go well. But in terms of like grad school, the grad program, I'm meeting with the grad program coordinator to talk about where my progress is in the program, talking about what else I need to do, what forms I need to fill out. I have made my supervisory committee, and the supervisory committee are the people who are going to sit on a panel where you present your dissertation, where you defend your dissertation, and like after you finish it, and they're going to judge. They're going to be like, did you actually do a good job in making your dissertation? Like, was this like a valuable contribution to the field? Did you do your research properly? Did you conclude things like properly? So they're gonna judge your methodologies, they're gonna judge your findings, they're gonna judge your evidence, they're gonna do all that. I built that committee. We're supposed to have a meeting at some point in this semester, so we're gonna be talking about what comprehensive exams I'm gonna take, when I'm gonna do my proposal. So for the math education program, I have to do 2 comps. One of the comprehensive exam is the dissertation proposal, so I just have to present like, hey, here's my research question, here's my proposed methodologies for it, and here's why I'm looking at it, here's why it's important. And then your panel will probably be like, okay, you're doing a good job with your questions, but maybe we can work on your methodologies differently, maybe we can do this other stuff. And the other comprehensive exam that I gotta take is in PDEs probably. I'm probably going to do the PDEs one. So I'm asking the PDE professor that I'm taking class with to please write me one. Either that or maybe a PDEs and functional analysis. These are words that probably don't mean anything to people who don't know math, but it's my bread and butter. I think if I take a test in those subjects, I'll probably be well off. Like I'll probably like studying for it. So far though, I think in the program I'm doing a good job on staying on top of things. I'm very excited to inform you how supervisory committee stuff works, but that's going to probably happen at the end of the semester. But until then, it's been nice talking to you. I had a wonderful summer, and I'm going to have an even wonderfuler fall semester. So until next time, bye! I'm on my way home from the Big Red Experience. I think that's what they call it. It's at the Lead Center. I saw Tinashe perform again. It was kind of amazing. Yeah, I had a lot of fun. I think that was a nice way to cap off week one. And yeah.